Now, a serious allegation has been made against the government of President Tinubu by the founder and pioneer chairman of the African Democratic Congress, or ADC, Nwosu. He says the government clandestinely tried to tempt him with substantial financial inducements and offers of ministerial appointments if he agreed not to transform the ADC into an opposition coalition platform. He said the move was part of a broader plan to stifle opposition and impose a one-party state on Nigeria. But he said he bluntly refused, choosing instead what he called a democratic future for Nigeria. Well, the presidency has refuted that claim, insisting that no government official can promise or grant ministerial slots except President Tinubu, calling him a jester and his ADC, the Association of Disorganized Characters. They dared him to mention the names and positions of people in government, those who made him the offer. So claims and competing claims. Who's got the right of it? Well, for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by the founder and pioneer chairman of the African Democratic Congress, or ADC, Nwosu. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you very much, Charles.
So we don't get in quotes and misquotes. Just tell us what you actually said at that NEC meeting regarding any inducements that the Tinubu government allegedly offered you if you agreed not to transform the ADC into an opposition coalition platform.
Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. And before I start to comment, nowadays I always like to offer very warm handshake, extend very warm handshake, our symbol, to yourself, the Arise TV, and all the Nigerians who are on TV.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. You see, apart from what happened to myself and many members of the ADC, and we have so many, at the moment, it's not only happening at the national level, it's also happening at the state level, and so on, inducements and everything. As a matter of fact, I deliberately, what I did at our NEC meeting was to send a signal so that the presidency and that's people pretending Democrats who are on the other side, to be careful, because they are ruining our system, and we have struggled for that. And if they're not, we had a strategic meeting today, and we said we will start compiling documents. Let me tell you something. The chairman of Benue State, in the person of Elias Adiku, today he has about 3 policemen of ADC. He has 3 policemen, some SSS people guiding him, moving around, staying in the most luxurious hotels, just because to undo what we are working on, our coalition. As we speak, the chairman of Nasarawa State, Alaku Godwin.
You mean the ADC chairman? The
ADC chairman.
Right.
Is also working on the same trajectory with the government. They have conscripted these people so that they can file a case in court. And I tell you something, why are we doing this? This is a democracy. And if you're in government, perform so that Nigerian people will love you and vote for you. The last now I want to do here would be to come and be calling names. I don't even want to get into that game, but I sent the last signal to them, and so on. And as far as I'm concerned, having been in this political arena for a very long time, as a young man, even before I went to the university in the United States, I was a youth leader of UPN before I left for the US in 1979, and so on. So we want our country to move forward. We are in a democratic setup. What I've said wouldn't be new to any national party chairman as I speak to you today. So people who can talk about the meddlesomeness of this government so that they can foist one political party system in this country are so many.
Yeah,
but the issue is now is having the courage to speak.
Indeed.
And I just deliberately sent that a signal. And if they don't stay off, we are compiling
the point is that you have made very specific allegations, and you're not quite the same with this new ADC opposition coalition as all the other parties. I mean, you are a slightly bigger force. I mean, you've kind of moved forward now in the pecking order of political parties in this country. And you've made a very specific allegation against the government, which the government has been forced to come out to refute and to challenge you to say who made those offers to you and what their positions in government are.
I have heard the government refutal, but I'm not in confrontation with the government. What we are asking for is, let's go to the ballot box. Why do you want to stop political parties? It's not only ADC. What is happening with PDP is also
no, I understand that, but you're speaking in broad terms.
Yeah.
And I want to address your specific allegations.
About offers of a ministerial position?
Yeah. I mean, you said you were very specific. 3 ministerial slots. One was to go to you.
Yes.
The other 2 to whoever you wanted to give it.
I have calls and I have meetings, and not only here in Nigeria. A couple of
but you're not prepared to mention the name.
No, I will not.
Right. Okay. But you know that Daniel Buwala, who is the special advisor on policy communication to President Tinubu, has denied that the presidency offered any ministerial slots to you. He said that no government officials can promise or grant ministerial slots except President Tinubu himself. What is your reaction to that?
Well, Buwala, I wish you would come out and say why Elias, Adiku, Alaku, Godwin, and Mohammed Kala, they are doing in big hotels, being protected by government, the people paid police.
You mean, are they now former ADC members, or they're still members of the ADC?
They are still carrying the cards of ADC. But the government are using them to even try to scuttle the things we're doing.
Yeah, but what have they actually done to support this allegation that you're making now? What have they done to support what you're saying?
Oh, they have used them to go to court to say that, oh, they don't agree with the things we're doing, therefore it should be stopped. And they are being protected. We have pictures, and we know where they are. It's laughable. A couple of them have reached out to me at least. They were five. They are 5 ADC people.
Right.
2 of them reached out to me, and one has was able to run away and write to say he's withdrawing. He can no longer be coerced. The chairman of Niger State wrote to say, "Come, withdraw me from this case," and so on.
Right. So and you trace all that, I mean, the people who are going against this ADC coalition from within the ADC, you trace that to the meddlesomeness of the ruling APC party, the presidency,
100%.
Right.
Who sends 3 policemen and about 1 or 2 SS persons following each of these individuals, and they are now riding on SUV vehicles and they're staying in luxurious hotels? We cannot afford that. Even me, who until yesterday officially was national chairman, I can't afford that. This money being lavished for nothing, because And for now, I don't think even, the court are tired of politicians trying to scuttle their own processes and so on. And they say, go and settle your matter yourself. But at the same time, they continue dragging everybody and so on and so forth. As I speak to you, 3 people, there are 4, but Dumebika Chibu has been expelled from our party.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Dumebika Kachukwu, his grievances. I mean, he was your former presidential candidate, and whether you've now addressed those grievances, and whether you're all sort of, back together, but you're saying you've expelled him from the party.
As a matter of fact, all the other persons that were expelled with him, we had ADR, which I NEC organized, and we recalled those people. And in our NEC yesterday, we pardoned them of everything, but Dumebika Kachukwu, who has been #1 agent, that is collecting resources from anywhere and funding the process to derail what we are doing as far as consolidating our coalition is concerned. We said for him, we don't want him anymore. And it was moved and everybody carried it again, despite the fact we did that in a convention before. You see, Nigeria has to move forward. Nigeria has to move forward. And I told everybody, I was with my family recently, when my last son graduated from university. I said, come, what we are doing for you. I will want my grandchildren to go to school in Nigeria, not in America, not in the UK. If God keeps me alive, I see them, I want them to go to school in Nigeria. So we have to do this hard work. There is no amount of money, there is no amount of inducement that will stop us.
Right.
My national secretary is also so committed. National secretary last week was involved in a very serious accident with members of his family. But he managed to be at the neck of yesterday and to still make his position known. So leaders of our party are that committed.
Right. So how much, assuming these allegations you're making, and that's an assumption, purely an assumption, are true and correct, how much of a threat does this pose to this new ADC coalition?
None. None. Because the Nigerian courts have said, come, politicians, go and sort out your problem. Before long, you want us to decide who will be chairman, who will be a politician, who will be elected, who will be this, and so on. The same politicians want to make mess of the politics. And if we fought the military to stay away, and one of the #1 architect of NADECO and so on, by the grace of God, got power and is doing this, and people like us who suffered in NADECO and so on wouldn't fight back, we are fighting back. And that is why we have audaciously, and we will continue that process, to audaciously oppose anything that will make Nigeria to become a one-party system under APC. It happened in Lagos, it cannot happen nationally.
Well,
and I'm not the only one that is determined to do that.
I think people would be encouraged by your forthrightness and the strength by which you're communicating what you're saying, for the simple reason, whether they agree with you or not, the fact that the emphasis is on having a strong, viable opposition in this country, because that's necessary for democracy. Do you think the arrival of this new ADC coalition is now putting the APC on its toes and is really now playing the role of a proper, challenging opposition?
I thought that would happen, but instead of that happening, they still believe, there are people in APC who feels that if we offer this and the appeal is too small, we just up it. We continue upping it until we're able to dismantle them. But this time they failed. And if I tell you what is happening in the in the coalition, it's not just happening in Abuja, it's happening across the country. People in the country are vexed. And not just within the country, internationally. I was, as I said again, I was in the UK for my son's graduation, and a lot of young Nigerians were hosting me, you know, and just within 24 hours that they had, I came into town. I had 3 hostings everywhere. As we speak, despite the fact I'm no longer a chairman, but I had, as I said, I will work more than anybody working from the floor.
Yeah, but what is your role in the party now then? What's your role in this new ADC coalition?
A floor member.
Right.
I'm a floor member. And I'd like to operate
but you'll always have the distinction of being called the pioneer, the founder and the pioneer chairman.
When we started the journey of ADC, we said we are building a public trust. It wasn't about me. It wasn't about Alhaji Said Abdullahi. It wasn't about Dr. Mani. And it wasn't about Ayana Ayarinze or any one of us. Unfortunately, one of the most dynamic guys that we worked with when we were building this, Abdullahi Bello, died 2 years after ADC was born in a tragic motor accident. So at times when we fight, even now when we fight, we remember his memory,
right,
and so on. So,
but I'm wondering, Chief Ralph, whether or not you're getting mired in a lot of these fending off of these alleged sort of infiltrations by the ruling party and by the presidency, according to you, and because I mean, on whether or not that is now dissipating your energy and your sort of commitment, because we're yet to see those alternative ideas coming from the ADC
I
beyond your criticism of the policies of government.
I appreciate you. You see, one of the biggest call that the coalition has made, choosing some of the principal officers, somebody like David Mark and Governor Aregbesola, critical. And you know, one thing they've done, we take some deliberate step to smoke these people out and know the things that they want to say. You know, David Mark is a military tactician and then has gotten into politics also, using his military tactics to deal with the opposition, no matter who they are. So he tells us to do certain things, you smoke them out so that you know how to deal with them. And then, and so all of these things that they are doing is anticipated. We have gone beyond that. We're just praying that, we're just praying that everything will continue going well. I mean, so that all the ideas that they have, or that the new leadership has, will work out well, moving on.
Right.
You know?
Well, I mean, you've said that the ADC is now the party, and I'm quoting you, with the largest membership.
100%.
What sort of figures are we talking about?
I tell you what happened this morning. What happened this morning, Babachi Lawal called me that they want 2.5 million membership cards for only the Northeast. 2.5. Before, about 2 weeks ago, they bought only 500 and came back to reorder 2.5 million membership cards.
Yeah, but how does that compare to the APC and the PDP, for example?
You see, our website has moved into the Amazon, because initially, when we were putting the website and registration, people were registering online and so on, and we were trying to use some local domiciliation and so on. We were doing well, but until recently, it crashed 2 times, and we had to move it into one of the sophisticated foreign warehouse that's costing us so much money. A lot is happening, Charles. I can tell you, but you know, because we are still strategizing, just like when the chairman came, say the 50-man committee is being set up, so that we go in, and within about a month or two,
right,
you now see clearly
okay.
a blueprint that shows you that these people, they know what it's no longer business as usual.
We'll be looking out for that. Ralph Nwosu is the founder and pioneer chairman of the African Democratic Congress, or ADC. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you very much, Charles.
That's it for this edition of Arise Prime Time. Join us again tomorrow from me and the entire team here in Abuja. Bye-bye, and thank you for watching.